I'm going to preview the Baylor at Texas Tech women's volleyball game, which literally will be played September 24th at 6 p.m. Central Time on ESPN Plus. Of course, there'll be live stats as well. Apologize for looking down because I cannot memorize all this stuff. Baylor is coming off a 3-0 loss against Texas, and the scores for that match were 18-25, 12-25, 13-25. I don't expect Baylor to be out of the rankings, but the wait and see. And I'm doing this ahead of time before the rankings come out, so that way all I have to do is just release the video with the stats and the roster for Texas Tech in the description below. And this is the first of 2 meetings with Texas Tech. It is one of 3 teams that Baylor will play both home and away. The other 2, Kansas State and TCU, of course. Baylor is 6-3 overall, 1-0 in the Big 12. I already kind of went over that Big 12 match they had against UCF. It made sense to play them after playing Florida. That way you don't have to make a separate trip and all this. And I'm going to just make a note about the volleyball game against Texas. Still no Kendall Murphy. In fact, Bree Denny didn't even make the trip because she didn't even play in it. I looked on Instagram at one time and she didn't even make the trip down. Something's got to be up. Recovering from something. Maybe she was still recovering from that Florida, like what happened against Florida. And I know she came back and played, but still. And all this. And Grace Carroll did actually play in this game, unlike the last game. So really, the only injury concern is Bree Denny. I don't know what's going on there. And obviously, Kendall Murphy still hasn't played since match 1, set number 1. Maybe they're just doing very precautionary on her shoulder that she really messed up. And she had off-season surgery and all this. So, that's all I got to say about that. Now, Texas Tech hasn't played a conference game yet, which I understand. You got to get through the non-cons first. They're aimed for a raw, and I'm going to just go over their losses real fast. Western Carolina, 3-2. At Georgia, 3-1. They did lose to Northern Arizona on the road, 3-0. And they also lost to Ole Miss, 3-1. Now, their wins include Florida Atlantic University, 3-9. Kent State, 3-1. Duke, 3-1. Alabama State, 3-1. Southern Utah, 3-2. UC San Diego, 3-2. Albany, 3-1. And Incarnate Word, actually, 3-2. Now, what are some players to keep on for Texas Tech? And I'm going to just put the stats for Texas Tech in the description below, as well as the roster. And I know I'm going to preview them once Baylor plays them again. But it's like going to be in November. And all this. So what are some players to keep an eye on? And I'm just going to say, I'm not going to go over like every single player. There's no way. Payne Dunn, number 2, is the first one I'm really going to go over. And she's a 5'11" setter that is a grad senior. 12 kills on 45 attempts with 11 tackling errors, 313 assists, 10 service aces, 10 service errors, 81 digs, 12 blocks, 1 solo, and 1 blocking error and 1 ball handling error. And there's Addie Kanouf, Kanouff. Number 3. A 6'5" outside hitter / right-sided hitter that's a sophomore, aka like an opposite. 119 kills on 312 attempts with 21 attacking errors. With 119 kills on 312 attempts with 43 attacking errors, 1 assist, 11 digs, 31 blocks, 4 solo. That's it. There's Aaliyah McDonald, number 5, and I do not know the injury stats for Texas Tech at all. A 6-foot middle blocker that is a grad senior. 57 kills on 153 attempts with 12 attacking errors, 2 assists, 1 service error, 7 digs, 43 blocks, which is the most on the team, 7 solo, and 1 blocking error. There's Sierra Grizzle, number 8. A 5'6" defensive specialist / libero that is a junior. 1 kill on 3 attempts, 67 assists, 14 service aces, which is the most on the team, 12 service errors, which is not really the most, but second most. 13 receiving errors, yeah, that's the second most. 236 digs, which is the most on the team. And that is it. This Kaylin Cochran, number 10, I might as well just say that because 33 sets played. A 6'1" setter that is a junior. 4 kills on 14 attempts with 3 attacking errors, 174 assists, 7 service aces, 2 service errors, 37 receiving errors. 37 digs, not receiving errors. That's way too many receiving errors already this year for that number, but 37 digs makes a lot more sense. 2 blocks, 1 solo, 1 blocking error. There's Tatum Johnson, I might as well say that. She's played 28 sets this year, number 11. 5'11" redshirt freshman. That's a middle blocker. Number 29 and number 11. 29 kills on 90 attempts with 18 attacking errors, 2 assists, 3 service aces, 7 service errors, 1 receiving error, 13 digs, 20 blocks, 2 solo, 3 blocking errors. Okay, now this next player, I know she's only played like 26 sets all year. I know. Kali Giovilli Rava, Jioshvilli Rava. No height listed, but she is a outside hitter from France. Cannes, France. That is a freshman. 87 kills on 231 attempts with 45 attacking errors. 3 assists, 6 service aces, 5 service errors, 5 receiving errors, 57 digs, 2 blocks, no solo, 2 blocking errors. There's Reagan Engler, number 17, 6'1" mid blocker / right side hitter, aka opposite. That is a junior. 132 kills, which is the most on the team, on 409 attempts, which is also most for the team. 54 attacking errors, which is also most on the team. 6 assists, 7 service aces, 9 service errors, 16 receiving errors. Yeah, that's actually most on the team. Grizzle has like second most in terms of the receiving errors, by the way. 84 digs, 16 blocks, 2 solo, 3 blocking errors. Only 2 more players to mention. That's Emily Contreras, number 21. 5'5" libero. That is a junior. 2 kills on 3 attempts with 7 assists, 11 service aces, 22 service errors, which is the most on the team. 5 receiving errors, 65 digs. That's it. And the last player is Ashlyn Bellarmine, like Bellamy. Number 23, 6'1" outsider. That is a junior. 82 kills on 242 attempts with 43 attacking errors. 8 assists, 14 service aces, which is tied for the most on the team. 9 service errors, 10 receiving errors, 104 digs, 2 blocks, 0 solo, and 1 blocking error. Obviously, whatever you did wrong last match, you he got correct in this type of match. And Texas Tech is not like the same level as Texas. Let's just be real. Texas Tech is not going to even receive votes, I don't think. And whatever you did right last match, you got to bring it this one. And hopefully you know where you're at in terms of the team when compared to one of the top 2 teams in the country. And just use that to get better. So that way you could potentially be a top 16 seed. As in be a top 4 seed in the NCAA tournament. But in order to do that, you got to take care of business against the unranked teams. Or you're not even receiving vote teams. Even. That's just telling the truth. You got to make adjustments on the fly. Not just from set to set, but during those sets. If you deal with adversity, you got to battle back and beat a more mentally tougher team. I know there might be some questionable calls, but you got to play on, make plays to win. And I know there's challenges, but it only gets so many of those during a match. So you can't really rely on that. If they do so many errors, it's really on them. Especially the service errors, rotation errors, foot faults, illegal back row attacks, or double contact, or like a ball, aka ball handling error. It's really on them. And obviously you don't want to do any of that. You don't want to give them free points, and you got to serve tough. And sometimes the best defense comes from your serving. Serve tough enough that they're already out of system offensively. And you have your blocking step up. And if you can't block it, you got to dig it out. And if you could force overpasses, that would be helpful. That way you could have a chance to put it away. And let's take advantage of that. And you got to win the jousting in the air. Don't have net violations. The last thing you want to do. And if they do it, it's really on them in this type of game. I'm just saying. You want to stop the best players as much as possible. If you could kind of read their tendencies, you know where they're going to go, whether it's in the middle or the outside, hitter or opposite, whichever side of the court. If they hit the antenna, they hit the antenna. Unlike the ball and everything like that. And you might have to adjust your hands, of course, on the blocking situation. Now, offensively, you got to be a lot better than you were last match. That's a definite. But I don't expect that to be an issue when Texas Tech is not on the same level. And sometimes you might have to win some long rallies because that does make the difference in the set or even in the match in general. You got to kind of have some variety on offense. Of course, if you do have one hot, have a hot hand, keep going with it until they stop it. You got to stay in system as much as possible. You don't want to give them free balls over. And overpasses, obviously. You don't want to do that. You got to receive the ball well from the serving. Because in order to set up your offense, you got to receive well. And really be good on the side outs, both offensively and defensively in this type of game. I don't really need to overemphasize this, but let's not overlook this game for TCU. And you do get that TCU game at home, and I expect TCU to be ranked in the top 20. It's more like where in the top 20, because they're not going to. I don't think they're going to be as highly ranked when they lost to Texas at Texas. I'm just saying, I don't expect them to be. Forget top 5. More like, are they top 10 or are they going to just be top 20 or top 15? That's really the question. And you kind of not take them for granted either, because upsets do happen. I mean, Kansas State actually beat a top 25 team in the non-conference. So you got to stay focused, one play at a time. That's all I got to say. Go out there and take away the crap from this game as much as possible by playing well. And don't let them get momentum. And if you're up 1 set to 9, make it 2 sets to 9, or then finish them off in 3. But if nothing else, try to finish them off in 4. And hopefully you don't have to go to a 5th set. But if you do, you got to get some momentum early. And then take over. And all this. So we're going to have to obviously wait and see what happens. And like I said, I expect Baylor to be ranked. It's more like where they're going to be ranked. I'll put it in the title. I don't expect Texas Tech to even receive votes. So anyways, if you like this content, hit the like, subscribe button. See you guys later on the road to 800 subscribers. Of course, ultimate goal is 1,000 more. So remember, of course, like video, comment video. Really helps the YouTube algorithm. Some more people see it. Sharing the video does help as well. Some more people could watch it if you're watching. And that's hit subscribe button. Hit the notification bell as well. And the good news is for Baylor, they're already kind of battle tested on the road already. I mean, they played Florida at Florida. They played Texas at Texas. They even played SMU as a neutral site game early on in the year. Let alone LSU at LSU and South Alabama as a neutral site. Then that practice game against Texas A&M on the road. So the road environment, they shouldn't be as big of a problem. If it was earlier on, it could be a problem. Just don't be intimidated by the fans. Play your game. Have your key players step up and your role players step up. While honestly shutting them down as much as possible and make them inefficient offensively. In this type of game, and use all your frustration from the last game and put it on Texas Tech in this game. Let's go to work.